It's a hunting and fishing sneak boat all in one. We rotomold with Beavertail.
Look at the size of this oven. It's practically 3 stories tall.
Plus, we grind with PMI machining. These food plot implements are deer hunter delights.
People are passionate about outdoor equipment. Get this, Americans spend more than $20 billion a year on gear. But no one ever really sees how their stuff gets made.
Well, that's where we come in. Each week, we throw open the factory doors and give you a behind-the-scenes look at how your favorite gear is made.
Made for the outdoors.
One nice thing about hunting and fishing is when one season closes, another season is right around the corner.
And whether you're duck hunting or fishing, the Beavertail Stealth boat is perfect for both. Plus, it allows you to be sly and sneaky. Let's see how it's made for the outdoors.
The Stealth 2000 is a rotomolded 1 to 2 person sneak boat.
Our customers are selling these boats worldwide. Australia, Finland, New Zealand, Russia, Denmark, all throughout the United States, Canada, South America. The Stealth 2000 has been around, I think, 15, 17 years.
Along with sneak boats, Beavertail makes a variety of other hunting and fishing products. Their sneak boats are manufactured at Rhino Rotomolding, which is about an hour northwest of Minneapolis in Maple Lake, Minnesota.
We do have a lot of avid outdoorsmen. Love our boats, love our other products. We have a total of roughly 120 employees. Our manufacturing facility is roughly 65 to 70,000 square feet, houses 5 rotational molding machines.
So this is the Stealth 2000. And the entire boat is made of polyethylene, otherwise known as plastic. We're now going to walk you through the process called rotomolding.
Rotational molding allows you to put the plastic where it needs to be. When we want it to go in certain corners and certain ends, and we want areas thicker than others, we can do that with rotomolding without just adding more plastic to accomplish that.
So the warehouse has just a little bit of plastic lying around in it. Each one of these Gaylords actually has 1,200 pounds of plastic.
This part of the warehouse is sorted by color. We really want to blend in with the cattails, so we're going with marsh brown. Mike runs the forklift. They call him Powder Mike around here because his job is to keep the powder stocked up out on the rotomolding floor.
It's off to rotomolding. That's where the process starts. All right, let's unveil our color. Here it is, the marsh brown. Time now to turn powder into product.
Each part takes a certain amount of powder to make the plastic. So this one takes 88 pounds, so we're gonna put 44 pounds into 2 different bins.
All right, so we gotta weigh it out. Put this on here. Jake's gonna zero it out. And now I start shoveling, right?
Yep.
Is it gonna be 44? Oh, I went over. Woo! Right on the money. Second time's a charm. I already thought I got my workout in. Shoveling. Oh no, time now to lift. Ugh. Woo! So it all starts with a mold, or in this case, a tool. This is going to be what is going to get sandwiched together as the top. You can see this will be the interior of the boat of where you will sit, and that will form all the plastic to this. Then you can see over here, this is actually the bottom. So those two will get sandwiched together and will spin all around, and the plastic will form to the inside of this tool.
Before the powder is poured into the mold, the guys insert brand graphics into the tool. These will adhere to the plastic when it bakes.
Okay, so we lift it up and what? Just pour it in there?
Try to pour it more on the sides here.
Out on the side.
Kind of evenly, yeah. Yeah, set it in there and kind of roll it. Perfect.
The exterior of the boat will be entirely plastic. Inside the shell is where the foam is.
Foam is in a predetermined drop box. It'll open up a plunger and let the foam drop after the shell is made.
So we now have our 88 pounds of plastic and our 30 pounds of foam. We're gonna put the two pieces together, and it's time to go in the oven.
Up next, it's hot, then cold around here. We cook with one of the largest ovens in the country. Plus, we take this fishing boat out on the water. You're watching Made for the Outdoors.
Made for the Outdoors is brought to you by Magnum Research, Otter Outdoors, Ice Castle Fish Houses, Banks Outdoors, and by Walton's.
Welcome back to Beaver Tail's rotomolding facility in Maple Lake, Minnesota. We're about halfway through manufacturing our hunting and fishing sneak boat.
Well, the process is rotational molding, and we use a virgin polyethylene plastic in powder form. And we rotate the boat in a tool over heat to mold it to our specific tool itself.
After the tool is capped, it enters the oven. This is one of the largest ovens in the entire country.
The machine you'll see today is a RS 5500, also known as a 550 ferry machine. 16-foot swing.
We're able to put a 12-foot long tool on this machine, and an hour later, we have a boat.
While inside, it twists and turns to evenly distribute the plastic powder.
The internal temperature of the tool needs to reach 415 to 425 to reach optimum melt for the plastic to adhere to the walls and cure out.
Look at the size of this oven. It's practically 3 stories tall. So the boat's in here cooking for about 20 minutes, and it's so hot in there, over 500 degrees. When the boat comes out of the oven, it is piping hot. I can literally feel the heat from it right now. It almost feels like I'm in a sauna. It will continue to spin, and it's going to move its way around into this giant cooler.
It takes just as much time to cool as it does cook. There are 6 giant industrial fans.
Right now it sits in the cooler for 41 minutes. We have 23 minutes of water on it, so the exhaust fans are actually blowing water to cool the mold down faster for us.
The coolest part is probably the demolding process. You see a bucket full of sand or sugar dumped into something, and it comes out in the form of a boat.
Yeah, this is our first look. We have no idea what the boat will look like until it comes out. Once it gets pulled out of the mold, it'll go down to the trimmers.
So they also have a secret fridge here, filled with freezies. You want want two, not one. There you go. Okay, there you go.
After our freezy break, it's on to trimming.
Then trimmers will trim it up, make sure there's no defect, and then they'll assemble the boat.
The extra parts are added, the end covers, the eyelets, the seat cover, and the dog pad.
The final step is to test and see if the boat floats and brings us any luck fishing.
We want you to enjoy your time on the water.
One thing that's so nice about this boat is just the amount of room you have. I mean, you can really stretch out, plus a comfy seat, and you are high above the water. So, a good day of fishing or duck hunting.
It is made for the outdoors.
Up next, from the water to the woods, we plant food plots using PMI machining implements for your ATV. You're watching Made for the Outdoors.
Made for the Outdoors is brought to you by Topper Easy Lift, Aquarius Home Services, Mulching Mania, Mid-Soda Trailer Manufacturing, and by Central Boiler.
Hunters long for the boys of fall.
Corn, clover, soybeans, you name it, deer love their sweet treats. And I want a monster buck to walk by my stand this fall, so it's time now to plant a little candy store in the woods. And the nice thing about planting these food plots is there are implements now that fit right behind your ATV. And they can go deep in the woods, way back to the back 40.
Powers Machining Incorporated produces an ATV disc, planter, and cultipacker. Let's see how their products are made for the outdoors. They're made by hunters, for hunters in Carlos, Minnesota. PMI is family owned and operated and has been for 22 years.
It's really exciting. Working for family.
Their custom fabrication business started in a shed, and now they're almost outgrowing their current facility.
We have 25 employees. Our shop is currently 80 by 200. We are going to be making an ATV disc for food plots. Mainly more for food plots that are in those hard to reach areas out in the woods.
Trucks deliver about 2 to 3 tons of steel weekly.
A lot of cold rolled square tubing, hot rolled sheet metal.
Manipulating the metal starts with Colton in engineering and design.
And we model everything in CAD before we build it.
Colton is an avid hunter. The office has a friendly big buck competition. It was a close call this past year between Colton and Evan.
It's my biggest, and I actually shot it right behind my house.
Well, Colton, that's a nice buck, but now I think I gotta go get Evan's side of the story so we can settle who really has the biggest buck of the year.
So I found Evan, AKA Big Buck Hunter, right?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
But I hear there's a little discrepancy this year between you and Colton.
Oh, no way.
No?
No.
You got the biggest buck?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. 140 inches.
All right, well, we've solved that. You're gonna have to argue it out with Colton later, but now you gotta teach me how to saw. Sound good?
Sounds good. We're just gonna start by sawing off the end of that part right there.
After the rectangular tubing is cut to length, the edges are deburred.
Pretty in pink. Ready to grind. All right, so just like this, straight across?
Yep, and you don't have to push too hard. There you go.
That's good enough?
Yep.
Oh, geez.
Looks good.
Looks good?
These parts we can grind differently.
Did I do bad or good?
Not too bad. We'll call it good enough.
Look out for the grinder. Don't mess with me.
How'd the grinding go?
Good. Now it's time to transform these large sheets of steel into the rock boxes and the end pieces. And that's done thanks to the laser cutter and the press brake.
The new fiber optic laser cuts 10 times faster than the previous one.
It's unbelievable. You know, a thinner gauge material like you'll see on the rock boxes, it cuts that at over 1,000 inches a minute.
When we come back, we'll create the hitch and the frame. Plus, start planting our candy shop. You're watching Made for the Outdoors.
Made for the Outdoors is brought to you by Appledorns Resort. Select Minnesota GMC dealers. Powers Machining Incorporated. And by Minnesota Horse and Hunt Club.
Hey there, I'm Bill Shirk.
And I'm Lindsay Hayes.
If you're a fan of Made for the Outdoors and want to know more about upcoming episodes, be sure to like us on Facebook.
And also follow us on Instagram for cool behind-the-scenes looks at what we're working on.
And you know what? If you've got an idea for a show, be sure to drop us a note.
Welcome back to Made for the Outdoors. There are so many decisions when it comes to food plots. Where to plant, what to plant, when to plant, how large, and how many. Today we're disking with Powers Machining Incorporated in Carlos, Minnesota. Planting is the easy part. Manufacturing the ATV disc implement is a little more complex.
When we designed our product, we're building it the way we would want it to work and for what we as outdoorsmen and hunters are expecting out of it.
After all of our steel is prepped, welders craft the frame and the hitch. Nate's been with the company since 2010.
It's kind of born into it. A lot of my family members and my close neighbors, they were welders. There's a fair amount of welding that is involved.
I'm gonna try to replicate Nate's nice one over here. Wish me luck. You can't miss it. This one got the Lindsay touch. This is what a weld should not look like.
Seen better, I've definitely seen a lot worse.
When all the parts are done in welding, then they get shipped to powder coat, and all of our parts are powder coated.
Blaze Orange, the perfect reminder of deer season.
These are the components of an ATV tandem disc. There's two gangs. Front gang and rear gang are the same build, identical components, front and rear. Here's our wheel lift assembly. This is a rock box that attaches to the front and rear gang for additional weight if desired.
Steve assembles the entire implement from start to finish.
Where's my trusty assistant? This is where it pays to have an extra set of hands.
Glad I'm here to help. Rock box on.
Our next process is the disc blade.
The disc gangs are attached to the frame. plus bearings and bearing supports are installed.
Our second bearing.
Second bearing. So there are two different options, the manual lift or the electric lift, and I want the power.
12-volt actuator operated off the 12-volt supply of your ATV or UTV. Comes with a switch, right? Should have function.
We're going up, then we're going down. Ready? Looks good.
Then it's ready to rip. To install our food plot, we disc, then cultipack, we plant, then cultipack one more time. Now, we can only hope the boys of fall come visit our candy shop.
You want me to comment on how good this is or how good I look right now?